Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Chandler, or the Geek Slays, and I guess not welcome back. Welcome to Sports at Sunrise. I'm here with my co-host, Sasquatch Streams.
What's up, guys?
Um, for today, I think we're just gonna kind of talk about what this channel's gonna be, and then depending on where we're at, we have a couple news stories we could get into. So, you wanna start?
Yeah. So basically, what this channel is I mean, it says it in the name, Sports at Sunrise. We're just going to be putting out a podcast every morning, 15, 20 minutes, just talking about some different news, all that kind of stuff going on in the sports world. Like, we understand it's going to be a little bit harder right now with all the COVID-19 stuff going on, all this, NBA, NHL, all that kind of stuff being canceled, and hopefully it doesn't continue on into the NFL or football season this upcoming season. But we're just gonna do it the best we can. We may relay on some stuff that's happened during the free agency and all that kind of stuff anyway, especially in the NFL. It'll be a little bit easier. So I think a lot of our topics here at the beginning will be more NFL related stuff until some of those other free agency stuff happens during the NBA and stuff like that.
Okay, I know I wasn't gonna get into news first. But what you just said reminded me of something. You hear what Kirk Herbstreit said?
I did not.
He said he'd be surprised if the NFL and NCAA seasons actually happened.
You think they will, or they
I
will, or
don't
he
know.
thinks he thinks they
He
won't?
he thinks they won't.
I honestly, at the rate it's going, the World Health Organization just released, if this keeps going the way it's going at the rate it is, they're already suspecting like 100,000 plus cases, like by the end of, like, I think it was like June or July.
See,
So
there could already be more than that. I'm not
exactly,
gonna
because
twist this to the coronavirus,
yeah,
but like,
no, but I mean
there's
that's the
no
thing
way to
is
know
like
if
there,
China's being honest about their cases.
yeah, and even then, like, I mean, there's people. I mean, look at Rudy Gobert. He doesn't have any symptoms. They did a in-house interview with him right after that incident in OKC happened, and he's like, I have it, but I feel fine, and that's the scary thing. It's like you don't know who has it.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I mean,
say
for all I know, I've come in contact with it, and I wouldn't know.
right.
You know?
A lot of people, not a lot, but some people have it and just don't show symptoms, so you never know.
Mhm. Exactly.
That's
So
that's why I'm gonna keep just saying, stay inside unless you absolutely have to go
yes,
out.
yes, 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 yes.
Fucking
But yeah, I
don't be
can
dumb.
I can see that honestly, and it's a scary thing because one of my good buddies who is still in playing college football right now, he brought that up today. So obviously there was some stuff said in meetings or something like that possibly could end football season this upcoming season.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. I think
Oh
life,
yeah, for sure. Not even just the football stuff. It's just the fact that it could keep going on that much. Like
like I don't know, life at least for me has not felt the same without sports.
it's
Like
yeah.
I feel like Monday was 4 months ago.
hmm
I look back and like, fuck, it's Friday. Fuck, Monday was last year. Where are we? Because there's nothing happening. Like, the normal
like
morning sports shows are canceled. Like, they're starting to do stuff like what we're doing now. But I mean,
hmm
it's hilarious to watch, like, Skip and Shannon right now.
Oh, because they have nothing to talk about, so they're just
Well,
arguing with themselves, and that's what's
not,
really
on,
funny.
not only do they have nothing to talk about, but, like, their video quality, these rich people who have all the money in the world, and I guarantee you Fox is helping them with whatever they need to, have the worst video quality I've ever fucking seen. Like, it's like a shitty $12 webcam plus terrible lighting, and
It's
they're
just
just throwing it out there. It's like, what the fuck? Like, they still have good mics. That's sweet. Discord might not be the greatest thing in the world, but it's our best solution right now.
it's our best solution right now. We'll figure out something later, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's got to be better ways, but for now, this is the best
Yeah.
we can do.
Oh yeah. And but I mean that's pretty much it as far as kind of what this show is going to be about. We might get into some real life like we just did every now and then, but it's
Yeah,
predominantly going to be a sports related thing: NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, all that kind of stuff. I know
For
I know our buddy Judo there, being the big MMA guy that he is, he would definitely be on the show at some point to
oh, for sure.
do some MMA talk.
He's just a big sports guy, really.
Oh yeah.
Love loves some sports. I think everybody loves them some sports, whether they want to admit it or not.
Hmm.
You seen the fucking meme going around where it was
Which
like
one?
2019 esports isn't a real sport, 2020 esports is the only sport.
Yes. Well, did you? Okay, so I thought this was actually really freaking interesting because it's not just some of the sports like a lot of people know or like everybody is interested in. I mean, it's hitting everything. They hit NASCAR,
Yeah,
and two or 3 weeks ago, NASCAR, the channel, the NASCAR, they put out the iRacing on the show. That was like to replace the Talladega 500, the iRacing, like the in-game racing kind of stuff.
nice.
Like that was on there on like live TV.
Dude, I think right now is the time for esports, whoever's in it, to go out and like hit up Fox, hit up ESPN, and be like, "Hey, show this to people. This is the opportunity to make esports is already huge. Like League of
Yeah.
Legends, the World Championship for League of Legends averages more views than like the NBA Finals, the MLB Finals. Like it won't beat the
Mhm.
Super Bowl, but that's because even people who hate football watch the Super Bowl, whether it's
Yeah,
for commercials,
everybody
whether
watches the Super Bowl.
right,
I know, yeah, exactly what you just said. I know people who watch it strictly for commercials, and then
yeah,
I know people, depending on who it is, watch it strictly for the halftime show.
for sure.
You know,
So like, it, I don't think any esport will ever be that level of big, but
Mm-mm, I don't think so.
esports needs to take advantage of this time as much as they can.
Hmm.
Like Fortnite started to do daily tournaments. They need to start reaching out though. All these companies that the Overwatch League needs to reach out to TNT and be like,
Hmm.
"Hey, let's do something here. You got this time slot to fill every night where there's normally NBA.
Yeah,
Why don't you throw us in there?"
exactly. And because it's not like it would be like an every week thing anyway.
Right.
Overwatch is like, if I'm not mistaken, they do something like a big thing like once a month.
Yeah.
And it lasts like a total of 3 days or something like that.
Or do
So
your Call of Duty World League stuff. Just
exactly.
get esports companies need to just get themselves out there with whatever will accept them, just to
Because
get more people watching.
and I think honestly, I think if some of these networks could give that a chance, I think that could very well, because as far as I know they don't already, but I think
Right.
that could very well open a future door to esports having their own network on television.
That'd be sick, dude.
I mean, and I could see that being a thing, especially with how big some of those, like they just had the call, like you said, the Call of Duty World Tournament where with FaZe and all them in there,
Yeah.
and I believe FaZe got beat,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
I
And
think
so
last year's Call of Duty championship was it 100 Thieves that won?
it was either 100 Thieves
I
or
think it was 100
Optic.
Thieves. I think it was 100 Thieves. Because
And
then they're not in World
no,
League this year.
it was 100 Thieves because they just went and bought their whole like big
That
giant streamer
compound.
house. Yeah, that big
And they
compound.
shut down.
And it was like a
Uh,
million something dollars or some
yeah, and
bullshit
they're no
like
longer
that.
in the Call of Duty World League because the World League wanted to franchise it out, and 100T didn't have the money to pay for.
I personally like, I love 100T. Like
Oh
some of those
yeah,
guys that are in there, like some of my favorite people to watch. Like
Courage,
Courage
Nade Shot,
JD. I love watching Nade Shot, and
Valkyrie,
I've watched Nade Shot
Optic
since his
days.
Optic days. You
Yeah,
know, and like, yeah, Valkyrie's a good one.
Noah J.
Noah J. Yep.
Love me some Noah J.
But yeah, and but that was a big thing because like I like me being an Overwatch player, like I mean I love the game.
Yeah,
I reached out to, and I think I'm pretty good at it. I actually reached out to 100 Thieves, and but after doing some research, I mean, they never got back with me. Don't get me wrong. Why would they?
right, right,
But because one reason, because whenever they're looking for people, it's on their site saying, "Hey, recruiting," all that kind of stuff.
right.
But apparently, 100T will not do an Overwatch team because they couldn't keep their name, because Overwatch League is straight like club based, not like I mean, 100 Thieves are the club, but it's more like a compact club base. What I mean by that is like you have the Dallas Fuel, you have
Right.
the Atlanta Rain, all those guys. Like it's not Optic Gaming
Yeah.
and Overwatch League. It's you have to have your own thing, you know.
That's
So
what
that was
COG's
kind of a
doing
bummer.
now. Optic
Yeah,
and FaZe are like the only two teams that got to keep their actual names.
yeah.
But they're still with a city. It's the Atlanta FaZe, Los Angeles Optic.
Hmm.
Like, that's why
Yeah.
100T isn't in the COD League anymore. Is they couldn't
Hmm.
afford to completely brand
Do
like
that
that.
rebrand.
And that's fair. All right.
Oh yeah, that's you can't not respect that.
I think let's break it off from esports here. That's the wrong thing. So let's start off by talking about the weirdest thing that happened, the Michael Brockers situation.
Okay.
So last season, his season was cut short by a high ankle sprain. Um, he signed a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Ravens, like at the beginning of free agency, so a couple weeks ago. And then on Friday, they announced that the deal fell through and he re signed with the Rams.
Hmm.
Apparently, due to complications in the physical, where he still has problems with that high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
That's big yikes. Um,
Let's see. I'm reading here. It looks like because he couldn't immediately the Ravens doctors couldn't immediately examine him
well, no team can examine anyone right now.
because free agents can't come to the facilities
Yeah,
exactly. So it looks like they reached an agreement in principle on a 3-year, $30 million deal, and that fell through.
21 million guaranteed. That fell through. His new deal in LA is worth up to 31.5 million.
31.5.
So he's technically got the better deal. I don't know. This isn't showing me what the guarantees are. So maybe he's getting less guaranteed, but there's more on the table, which a lot of the time, at least from what I've heard, those guarantees or those like goals you have to reach are like super unattainable and you'll never get them.
Hmm.
So they're more just there as like, sure, you can maybe get this, but you won't. Um, so the Ravens then replaced the Michael Brockers fiasco with Derek Wolfe,
Hmm.
defensive lineman for the Broncos, was there for their Super Bowl runs with Peyton.
Yep.
There we go. I think that's a good veteran piece to add to their defense.
I think so. I think it'll replace for sure Michael Pierce, who obviously was that DT for the Ravens last season, who is now on your Minnesota Vikings.
For sure.
Michael Pierce averaged 19 or averaged he attained 19 solo sacks during the 2019 season.
Yeah.
You know, and
Super excited
so
about that.
yeah.
Gonna
So
be a great replacement for Linval.
as
Sad to see
far as
Linval Joseph go, but
as far as Derek Wolf goes, I think that'll fill in some space. Now, will he be as dominant? I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's hard to say at this point.
But they did. I don't remember. I think they added a few other pieces though. So it depends. It depends on where double teams go. If he's getting single teamed all the time with a weaker guard, he could do all right.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I don't think he can be as dominant as Michael Pierce. But who knows? Maybe it's a
And
Maybe it was
that's
a
probably
scheme thing in Denver. Maybe there's something the Ravens will do different that'll boost his numbers. Who knows?
yeah. Well, and that's why, and the deal was just a 1-year deal for $6 million. So it's
Yeah,
not it's not a
it's kind of a
it's more of
prove
a
it deal.
let's see how you're gonna do.
Yeah,
Because you look at the Ravens and where they were at last year. I mean, that's a team that should be a contender, if not in the Super Bowl, the next time the Super Bowl happens, because we don't know,
for
you
sure,
know.
for sure,
But and that I mean that's Michael Pierce is a big loss for them, and they definitely need to find somebody that can replace that. And obviously, they see something in Derek Wolf to think he can, if just to sign him. So
for sure. then our last bit of free agency news, really. Redskins have signed ex-Eagles cornerback Ronald Darby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't understand the Redskins secondary at all, or just what they're doing in general.
I don't know what the Redskins. Yeah, I don't know what the Redskins are doing in general.
Like, they have Josh Norman, who fell off a cliff, like, bad, as soon as he got there.
But I think, didn't Josh Norman just leave?
Did he?
I thought he did. I thought they released him.
Fuck, my enter key's still fucked up.
Yeah, no, Josh
Oh,
Norman
yeah.
left. He went to the Bills.
He went to the Bill. Wow. Look at me not knowing nothing. So they got Landon Collins at safety. Great move. I love Landon Collins as a player, but I just, Ronald Darby was so bad in Philadelphia that like, was it a Philadelphia thing, or is it like
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think who all has Philadelphia signed.
they traded for Darius Slay.
Signed. They just got Darius Slay, my guy Darius Slay. So that's going to be a big pickup for Philly. That's a huge loss for Detroit. I don't know how much it'll help, though. Detroit. I think it'll help a lot.
See, the rest of Philly's secondary is still bad. Like, Malcolm Jenkins is gone. He was like the one guy who knew what he was doing.
Yeah, like, but I think Darius Slay, you know, I mean, he made Detroit what they were already. And
which,
I mean, don't get me wrong, Detroit still wasn't that good. But I mean, you for Darius Slay to do what he did in Detroit with what he had. I mean, dude is a phenomenal player.
Right, for sure.
And I think with that pickup, you know, I am as a Cowboys fan, I absolutely cannot stand the Eagles. But
I just can't stand the Eagles anyways.
The Eagles offense is not bad. Granted, they didn't do what they did.
It's not good either.
It's not what it was that Super Bowl winning year 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however long it was ago now.
I love how many people think that their receiving core is so good.
Yeah, I don't see that either. But like, I think that's a big
Alshon
pickup.
Jeffrey's okay. Deshaun Jackson used to be good, but he's older now. The Jets ain't there anymore, which is all Deshaun Jackson had. He wasn't a good route runner. It's just he runs fast and you throw it far. He'll get there.
Well, another thing with going back to the Redskins issue was their offensive line, in my opinion. They did not have a good line, and they went and they signed 3 or 4 offensive linemen, especially now that Trent Williams is having his deals going on. I can't even remember. Did he leave?
Not yet. He's under contract. He's waiting for them to trade him or cut him.
Because they just signed Cornelius Lucas, and I think that's, you know, from the Bears. I think that's definitely a.
So you know what I wish Minnesota would have done? The Redskins wanted Stephon Diggs. What I would have gave to just be like, all right, we'll give you Diggs for Trent Williams and a first. Because Trent Williams is up there now. He's 32, I believe. So, you know, you get the first round pick, but you don't have to throw in the other 30 picks the Bills gave us. You get your receiver to help out Dwayne Haskins, which he really needs. Like, he needs that guy who can make plays for him. And, you know, you get rid of the offensive lineman who's holding you hostage at this point. He's not going to play for you again. You're wasting money on him. So, you know, we're giving you Diggs. You're getting rid of the guy who won't play for you and giving us a pick that it might not have even needed. It couldn't have been this year's pick because there's no way the Redskins give up the, second pick?
Yeah.
Or for a receiver. So, you know, next year's pick or whatever. Or even a second rounder because it would be so close to the first rounder. The value's higher. But I wish that deal could have got done. All right. Then we got Bruce Arians officially shutting down Antonio Brown to the Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't know how Tom Brady feels about that.
Honestly, I personally, for me, was Antonio Brown a great player? Of course, but he definitely has to get his issues settled off the field before I think it would be cool for him to come back.
Well,
And that's even if because with the constant apologizing and then he goes
doing
and
some
does what he
fucked up
did,
shit. Well,
especially this last time.
which thing are you referring to?
I'm talking about
Because
this last
like
one
the
with
criminal charges,
the whole. No, I mean I didn't look into it too much, but
those are dropped. He's just
with the
been kind of
whole
a douchebag.
with the whole police thing
Oh
and all that kind of
yeah, I
stuff.
don't know what that was. That
I don't know.
it's wild. But him
It's
and
just
Brady are just
the fact that he's gone back and forth like, oh, I'm sorry, and then he goes and does what he does again. And then he'll come
right,
back, I'm sorry, I owe it, and then the next day on Twitter he's talking mad shit on the NFL.
right.
It's like, okay, dude, do you want to play, or are you at this point just trying to stay relevant, knowing you're not going to be back? You know,
Both.
and
But I don't know. Brady loved him so much, like, and every time Brady's tweeted about, wherever he was going, Antonio Brown, is quote tweeting him and saying, I'll be right there, and Brady's liking the shit and throwing up hearts. I just don't know how Brady feels, and I can't imagine that Bucks offense with Antonio Brown in the slot.
yeah.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Well, I mean, I think it's already going to be. I mean, you know how happy Mike Evans is right now?
Dude, Mike Evans is fucking.
He's finally going to know what it's like to have a football thrown into his hands. Yeah, I see Tampa Bay pulling something special, and
I'm
it's going
so
to be.
excited for Brady Breeze twice a year. That'll be so good. I just hate that Brady chose the NFC. My luck, the Vikings will have to play him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the NFC is going to be this year. It's going to be crazy.
I don't know. Then I think we got one final topic on ESPN the other night. Jamal Crawford, the 39-year-old maniac, had an interview where he said he's doing everything he can to stay in shape because he wants one more opportunity to play. Feel like it's going to be a super ring-chasey move, like he wants to go to the Lakers or the Clippers or the Bucks, which is fair. I feel bad for Vince Carter because he was like, I'm not going to ring chase. He should have. Go to the Lakers, go to the Clippers, go to the Bucks. Give yourself one last shot to get the ring.
He wants to pull Melo. Melo was given away after his deal in OKC, and then I can't remember if he signed anywhere right after that or not, but if he did, it was for the briefest of moments. He may have gone to Houston, did he not?
Oh, fuck, he did. He went to Houston for like 10 days.
Exactly. And
And
then
they
he
cut
just
him.
they cut him, and then he didn't get picked up by nowhere. And then 3 months later or some bizarre time like that, now he's on
It was over a
Portland.
year
Now,
later.
well, yeah, okay, even better. And now he gets picked up by Portland, and he comes off, and he's pulling primetime Mellow stuff, like back in Denver and stuff.
And
Like
I love to see
that's
it.
what Jamal Crawford is trying to do. Is
He,
he wants his Mellow moment.
he wants his swan song.
Yes,
I
he
feel
wants to.
so bad. The NBA needs to come back because I feel so bad that Vince Carter doesn't get to finish his career.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
That and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Lakers championship run I think was going to be special. I know I'm not the only one in the world who thinks they're going to win it. And I'm sorry, a charged up LeBron like that.
I think it would have came down to Game 7 with the Lakers, because I'm still convinced we would have had a Lakers Boston matchup.
See, I don't
That's
know.
my opinion.
My problem is I don't know who on Boston stops Giannis. Like,
Mm,
because you can't throw Marcus Smart at him. Marcus Smart is their best defender, but you cannot throw Marcus Smart at Giannis. Giannis will just step over him. And I don't know if Jason Tatum has the length to go with Giannis.
I think Smart could outshoot him, but
Well, Boston would outshoot him, but I don't know who's stopping Giannis.
Exactly.
The
I agree
reason
with
the Raptors stopped Giannis was because of Kawhi.
See,
like,
and that's the thing with the East, though. Is I mean, it's the exact opposite of what the NFL is. In the NFL, the East, which is essentially your West in the NBA, as far as the AFC, you know, is the AFC is basically the West in basketball, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just like all the good teams in the NBA are on the Western Conference, especially right now, and it's been that way. Other
Right.
than maybe the few years that LeBron was with Miami, and I don't even know if then,
And even the Cleveland years, like, those teams could compete with anybody in the West, but nobody else in the East could do anything against the West. Like, they just couldn't. But LeBron is just, he's a different animal that you can never get around. Like, he's...
Yeah.
Like, if you think, all right, we'll triple cover you so you can't score, whatever man you left open, he sees it. And he's going to see it every time. He's the most insane passer I've seen. Just his ability to know where everyone should be. So it's like a Brady situation. Like, Brady doesn't learn how fast his receivers are or whatever. He just says, this is where you're supposed to be on your route. If I say you're running a 3-yard slant, you're running a 3-yard slant.
3-yard slant, yes.
And I'm going to throw it to where you're supposed to be, not to where you actually would be. And that's like how LeBron is. He knows how every play is drawn up. He's like, I'm passing it to where they're supposed to be. Did they make the right play?
Yep.
Because you've seen some fucked up shit sometimes with LeBron, where he'll pass it to where you can tell Kyle Kuzma's supposed to be there, but he didn't make it, and the ball just sails out of bounds. And people are like, that's a bonehead move by LeBron. It's like, no, he knew where his guy was supposed to be. His guy didn't hit the spot.
I agree.
It's impressive. Yeah, I hope Jamal Crawford and Vince Carter both get a swan song moment. Even if Jamal Crawford just signs with, like, I don't know, who's the worst team in the NBA this year? The
Golden State.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that would work because Curry's back. So he goes to, like, fucking... trying to think of a team that is fucking around and needs a point guard. Just to come in and fuck around. Like...
Who does Cleveland have right now?
Well, they have Colin Sexton and Darius Garland.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about Sexton.
They're young, though. That could be good for him. And, I just think he needs to go somewhere where there aren't expectations. If he wants a swan song moment, just so he can just go, hit his shots, call it good.
Yeah.
I want Vince, since he's on the Hawks, to, one game that's left, they just let him play 35 minutes. Just let him have this one last hoorah moment. Melo's getting his. He's getting the, third most minutes on their team behind Dame and CJ.
Yep.
And that team doesn't look terrible. It's just they're so plagued by injuries, there's nothing they can do. Like, I think if they were healthy, if they had Nurk back, they'd be a top 5 seed in the West easy. And they're...
Who's the Wizards have right now?
Well, no, but Isaiah Thomas. No, they traded him.
Is John Wall still there?
He's still there, but he's hurt.
Okay.
Because he tore his Achilles, and then while he was rehabbing it, he fell down the stairs or something and tore his ACL. So he's been out for 2.5 years, trying to get his one leg put back together. Saw a video of him on Instagram, though. He chucked a ball at full court, got to the other end, and he chucked it, chased it, got to the other end, and dunked it. like as it bounced off the backboard. I was like, holy fuck, people aren't supposed to move that fast. I think we're gonna call it there.
Okay.
Sorry to anyone who watched for all the technical difficulties. We'll try to get that worked out for next time. The weird freezing, I don't know what that was. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm excited to get this stuff going. I think it's gonna be fun,
Oh yeah.
and I think obviously it's gonna be a little. I think it'll be a little dull at times for now, just because there's not a whole lot to talk about with everything going on right now. But I think that's definitely gonna pick up.
Oh, for
Definitely gonna
sure.
pick up in nearby future. So I mean, if we have to go the esports route for a little bit, we can.
And there's also the good thing of we can always just have debates, talk about goats, talk about,
Yeah.
different little shit.
Mhm.
There's so much stuff in sports we can talk about, but
Oh yeah.
I think we shall call it there.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
See y'all later.